Welcome back, folks, to a bonus episode with myself. I am your host, Adam Deacon, and we are getting on our dude, the one and only Mr. Todd Dreysse with RecLending. And we are chatting about what is going on in the world, what is going on in the boat market, and whether or not you should maybe look at buying a boat right now. And also, we chat about old stories. I think my favorite part about getting Todd on is we get to talk through old boats and crazy stories and all sorts of things that happen. So just a good old conversation on fishing. We get into details on the boat market, how things have consolidated in the past and otherwise. So neat conversation that, squirrel brain, get all over the place, but we cover some good topics. So there's some nuggets in here worth paying attention to if you're nerdy like me and like covering things like the boat market and bass fishing. Come on. All right, folks. Now we are joined by the man, Mr. Todd with RecLending. How are things going, man?
I don't know as I'd take the man. I am a man, but yeah, it's wonderful. I have nothing to complain about. Finally got to do some fishing. There's some sun out. It's probably getting 40 up here now. I'm Life's good. Life's good. How about you? You did more fishing than I have.
Man,
How'd you do?
I have been. I'm doing well. I've been, it's been such a mild winter here. It's crazy how mild it's been, quite frankly, in Idaho. A little scary. I think we need a lot more moisture, a lot more snowpack. Just we're so reliant on water, not only for our fisheries, but for forest fires, for agriculture, for everything. So hoping we get a little more moisture than we have, but I've been taking advantage of it. Um,
Yep.
both fishing locally and then also made a trip down to California to start the year on Shasta Lake, catching some spotted bass and largemouth, but on Lake Shasta in California for a tournament, which was a good time. And I'm about to hit the road here soon and head down to Havasu for the first BAM Super 60 tournament of the year. So
Nice.
we're we're
Nice.
we're
How's
starting.
the season turning out? Are you fishing well?
It's been all right, man. Yeah, I can't complain too much. Fishing what I would call, you know, top third of the pack, which is good, but would like to be a little bit heavier. But as far as AOY points and all that sort of stuff goes, I'm happy so far. So can't
Good.
complain too much. What about you though? You were just on the road. Talk about the tournament. You were down at Pickwick Lake. Talk about the
Yeah.
event that was going on
Man, we were down there for like 8 days. The first day we got to practice was beautiful. It was like 72 degrees, no wind. It's you're fishing shirts off and shorts, and I mean it's just wonderful. Next day it was 19 degrees,
ooh,
and the wind blew 30 mile an hour. It was just one of those. It went from high to low to high, and you just can't keep. I can't anyway. I just can't keep up with them that way. I mean, we have water temp when we first got there, or 54, 55. First day of the Derby, it was 42, and but they caught them. I mean, they caught the snot out of them. I just didn't.
man, we were talking while you were practicing, and you were just saying some of these guys are catching 6 and 7 pounders consistently, just some big
Oh
fish.
man, everybody in the house caught at least a six.
Man,
Everybody, or a couple of them, we had a 7.5, and two of the guys from up here, they finished. I think they finished fourth or fifth.
oh
They
nice.
had a pair of eights one day, and we just missed it. We were fishing all the right stuff the wrong way,
Okay.
so they were shaking them in over the top of these really shallow stumps, 4 foot of water, 5 foot of water,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd catch one every now and then on a trap or on a Carolina rig or a split shot rig or a rig, but
Yep.
they were shaking them in right over the top of it. The kid who won it put a pretty good video out on it. He wore a camera both days, and kind of cool to watch.
Cool.
Yeah,
And this event was what event? What championship?
uh, uh, Angler's Choice. So they've got divisions all over the Midwest, down into the South,
Mhm.
and every division, depending on how many folks fish or how many derbies get fished, gets to take the top 4, 5, or 6 or whatever from that division, and they go to this for a championship.
Okay.
And first and second place get boats. Um, they draw for a boat. Paid a lot of money. They really did. I mean, it was
Wow.
probably the tournament series got sold last year, so you always wonder how it's going to go.
Right.
Okay, and Pickwick has got a very tight launching staging area. So the whole time I'm thinking, man, if this doesn't go perfect, it's going to be a melee. I'm
Mm.
not kidding you. It was absolutely flawless. I mean, there's 250 boats out there, and I I get dumped in the water, and in 5 minutes, I'm picking my partner up on the dock, and we're sitting out waiting for the things to start. Nobody got anybody's way. I mean, it was just the weigh-ins took half the time that it did previously. So I'm really happy how they did it. The Bedford Marine in Southern Illinois, in Illinois anyway, bought it and completely changed the dynamic of it. Really did. They did a wonderful job.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
they're one of our dealers. So
Okay. I like it. That's something that, is always a concern. To your point, something similar that really happened out west with the whole Apex Tour and Western. I don't even remember the name of everything, but it was the trail previous to Mark Lazang and Bass Angler Magazine buying it. There was a lot of concern there because there was missed payouts as far as checks go, like
well,
just terrible, terrible stuff, right? And Mark picked it up and is absolutely ran with it. It's been a flawless tournament series, and so like you said, there's always that hesitancy, and you hope that it gets better when something like that happens, and it sounds like in this case it also did.
I don't think of that size. I don't think I've been to a better run tournament. It really was good.
Wow, wow.
Everybody got in and out. I mean,
So
they had thought through this thing start to finish. Where you're going to park them, how you going to put them in, what ramps you're going to use to put them in. I mean, they did well, really well.
that's awesome. So the guys shaking a minnow in that shallow water stuff, were they using a real light jig head, like 16th ounce?
From the video, it looks like an eighth or 3/16,
Okay.
just a round head jig,
Yep.
and uh, he
5-inch bait.
stoned him. He just flat stoned him. I think he had 20, 25 one day, 24 the next, something like that, 49, 50 pounds to
Whew.
win.
What
And
what kind of minnow?
it looked like that. Oh God, it looks like what, Sakamoto?
Uh-huh. The
I
Sakamaki.
think- Yep, I think that's what it looked like.
Okay. Like a
Somebody
5-inch
will
one.
probably tell me it wasn't that, but either way, it was a 5-inch minnow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Man.
it was fun. We had a really good time. And I took 3 of our teams down there to stay with us in a house, and I'll tell you a little backstory. But
Okay.
this year, I've let Dustin, who is our sales manager here, and my son-in-law, I've let Dustin
Yep.
make all the arrangements for where we're going to stay and all that stuff. And
Uh-huh.
we get down to this place that he rented, and it was literally a guest house that when you walked out the door, you sat at the folks sitting in their living room and at the fireplace.
No way.
And there's 8 of us, and there's 2 bathrooms and 4 beds. But there was a hot tub, and I think he got the hot tub and quit.
He was like, "This is it. This is the spot."
Oh, so we had to move out, find another one. We
Oh,
did.
man.
Everything worked out good in that one. The next house is really nice, so everybody had enough room, and
Yeah.
we spent probably, I don't know, the first 4 or 5 nights watching hockey, women's hockey, men's hockey, just
Yeah. Heck yeah.
watching to get to the game, but, no, we had a great time.
That's awesome, man. Nothing It's fun to travel like that with a group across
Yep.
states, and everyone, cooking meals, etcetera. It's some of my favorite part of tournament fishing is the camaraderie outside of the tournament.
Well, 3 of the teams, we caravan down together, And I thought about it. We're going right by Phoenix. So I called Jeff and Gary and said, "Hey, would you mind if we stop by and just kind of give them a little tour or whatever?" Because none of them had ever seen a boat being built.
Cool.
And so we pulled in there like at noon on Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it was. And we spent 3 hours, 2.5 anyway, at the Phoenix plant. And these guys were just so in awe. And I'm in awe of the fact that after 40 years, they really haven't changed a whole lot. They've changed the mechanics of how they do it. They may change the materials, but it's still a very hands-on build. They've not automated anything. But I guess that's what makes it so special, you know? It was
That's
cool. It was
that's
cool.
really, really cool. Yeah. What a neat experience for the guys going down to
Yep.
I still have not been to any plant as far as boat build stuff goes. I'd love to just see how it's all done. I mean, I've seen videos, I've seen kind of like some of the stuff, but I've never seen it in person. That'd be really
It's
cool.
completely different than what you think. It
Really?
really is. Yeah. It starts with the gel coat, the color, and you ought to build in because it's in a mold.
Really?
Yeah. And so by the time they're finished laying the stuff up, that's just the rough stuff on the outside. Everything beautiful's on the inside. And when they pop it, you get to see it. But it's cool. Really cool.
That's so cool, man. That's really cool.
Yep.
Well, so fishing was tough for you, but some of the boys did well from up north.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and now you're back. I mean, it's it's March, so stuff's around the corner as far as both
Yep.
fishing, boat show season, has been kind of happening.
It
But
has.
like,
Our last pair of them are next week. So,
okay, which ones are
yep.
those?
Novi Boat Show and the Grand Rapids, I think they call it Ultimate Fishing Show, something like
Okay,
that.
yeah,
So one will be dedicated to fishing stuff, one will be dedicated to play boats. So
yeah, got it.
I'm not gonna lie, so far this year it's been really remarkable. I mean the you folks who are well, I don't know how this Iran thing's gonna handle things, but the folks seem to have a better outlook and they know that rates are coming down. They know that it's, you know, a third less than it was this time last year. And so apps are up, banks are up.
Good. Okay.
Guess that's all I asked for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing headlines everywhere, right? As far as lowest 30-year mortgage sort of things, right? Interest rates coming down. On the boating side of things, you're seeing promotions from brands. I think Skeeter's got one going around at like 3.75 or something percent, like real low rate, etc. But what can you comment on as far as right now, rates wise, what's happening, and what do you anticipate kind of as we build into the spring?
So the banks change rates once a month, and it's usually at the beginning of the month or the end of the past month.
Okay.
And then you get kind of a glimpse into what their outlook is. For the past past 2 months, they've not changed anything. I mean, but they have come out at each one of the boat shows and come up with a special that dropped it by half or three quarter or whatever it is. So I think there's some room in there now for them to get a little bit more aggressive, especially after once the Fed starts taking it down in March and April. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
Right.
So, but that helps. The rate going down helps everybody. The dealers, floor plan, inventory, all that stuff. It just cuts the interest cost by a third. I mean, that's a big number in most marinas cases.
Right. Walk through that third just because of where rates were last year to like roughly where they are now. Like real
Yeah,
numbers here. Where do you feel
the,
like things stand?
I've been talking to some banks that are doing floor plans. So this may not be in the industry yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
Um, right now, rates typically for floor plan between 9 and 11%.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so you get free floor plan for 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it happens to be, and then you have to start paying interest on it.
Mhm.
That 11's a big number. I
Yeah,
mean, think about it. You got 20, $100,000 bass boat sitting in your showroom. That's a real number. And if you can diminish that from 11 to 7, a third less, geez, that's like getting a raise for the dealers. It gives them so much more money to work with, so much more capital for them to buy other boats with. And so I think we'll see that coming up pretty soon.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, and it trickles down as we've talked about before, but with the consumer, the longer a boat sits on the market on a floor plan, the more anxious that the dealer is to sell that because they're having to
Okay.
start paying interest on it after that 6, 9 year window. Um,
Well, on the way down, we've been courting a bank for 10 years.
mhm.
And on the way down, their headquarters is in Kentucky. And they wanted me to meet with the board of directors. Right?
Yep.
They take me out to dinner, do whatever it is. So I've really got a glimpse into what their mindset is and how they make money. And I think I think we're putting together some stuff, not only with the bank but with Phoenix. I think I'm going to tie the two of them together and try to and do something industry changing this fall.
Okay.
So when the free floor, excuse me, free floor plan is quit, something to help move that in stock, uh, outdated inventory, move it
Okay.
down the line. And I think we could do that. I've spent 40 years in this business, and for whatever reason, you cannot get the industry stirred up in the fall. They're hunting, they're whatever. But I got an idea that might, so we'll see. We'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
I, my
as
wheels were spinning. I
go ahead.
left the bank, went to the bank uh, in the afternoon the day before, left there and went to Phoenix. And the whole time my wheels are spinning. I mean, I got a good idea. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it
Interesting.
works.
Well,
What's
we'll
that?
have to get you on right before, uh,
Sure.
as that materializes because that,
Sure. As soon as I got it pinned down, there's some, no, I, I just, some information now and decisions on a few things are all we're really waiting for. And then we'll promote the snot out of it once it gets to August or September. So
got it. Got it. Okay. Now what about the health of the bass boat market right now? Both used boats as well as dealers. What's your pulse kind of
the
currently?
only, the only segment of the boating world that went up last year is fishing boats.
Really?
It by a big number. And now now everybody, all the service providers, all the dealers are flailing to put fishing boats in because that's what's moving. And we're fortunate that we're well planted in that segment of the industry right now. But I don't see anything but good. I really don't. I think our buyers are getting smarter. Um, they're tending the credit scores are seeming to go up. Their patience for the deal, and I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's a really big deal for us. Their patience for the deal is settling down. 3 days is okay. I don't need to have it in 12 hours now. So all in all, I really think this should be a really good year for our industry. The rest of it I can't say, but really ours is pretty much all I don't want to care about anyway. So I don't want dealers to go out of business, but I mean, I could care less how many Yamaha jet boats get sold. Really good.
I'm with you. Or wake boats or, whatever else. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, why do you think it is that the fishing boat segment increased yet all other, and I'd assume these other segments are like ski boats, jet skis, like different categories?
Sailboats, PWCs,
Yep.
playboats, all that stuff.
Okay.
And well, please don't anybody take this wrong, but we're Bubba's. We will let our house and our dog and our car go, our wife go before we let our boat go, and that is in their head. And I don't mean that it gets to there, but what I mean is they they dream on these things for so long before they buy them. We all do,
Right.
and you're not going to give it up just because somebody's saying something bad on the news or somebody on social media is being a jerk.
Right.
But well, I'm and I count myself in that group.
I
Okay,
same.
I mean I am firmly implanted in the Bubba group. Okay, much to much to my wife's chagrin, I suppose.
Yeah, we as bass fishermen, as fishermen in general, you do a lot of things before getting rid of the boat. And I think that's a well agreed upon statement. Um and so I think it also can be a positive thing, man, right? Like I think
Oh
I
man,
I have worked hard to be able to have a boat and fish, right? And so it can be a positive too, but you're right. If it starts going downhill, I'm getting rid of a lot of things before I get rid of the boat.
I mean I don't see any other segment of the market, of the boating market anyway, where the purchase is so anticipated and so planned. Yeah, you can say I'm going to get a pontoon next year. You can say I'm going to, but they don't know when they go to shop for their pontoon if what motor they're going to put on it or what depth finder they're going to have, whether it's going to what color bimini top, what color the boat is, all this. When the guy walks into a bass boat store, 9 out of 10 times he knows everything he wants right up front, and you might be able to change some of his stuff a little bit, but he knows.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you're kind of coming back to your point of the consumer is more knowledgeable and prepared than they've ever been when they're walking in.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah. And I think that's just an attribute too to just the day of age of technology, YouTube, et cetera. It's like you can know every little thing. I'll tell you a story. I took an awesome old farmer here fishing, and we went crappie and perch fishing, and he is in his 70s, mid 70s, and he had asked me, this forward facing sonar stuff. I'm interested in it. I have done a lot of research. Well, I'm in his shop and he has done a ton of research. I mean, he's got the live scope, transducer, etc., everything dialed in. He's got a cheat sheet for settings. Like he's been doing his research. I'm I'm
oh
I'm
no,
I'm super impressed with it. And so he's like, but you know what? There's nothing like seeing it kind of live, watching someone do it. Well, we went out and we smashed them. I mean, we put a bucket full of slab crappie as
really,
well as perch together. And I was so impressed at his ability, um, you know, uh, just to understand what was going on. And I think part of that was his previous research. But boy, he was pretty blown away at having it all happen in front of him. But he was good. I mean, I was like, wow, I expected this day to be completely different. It was going to be really hard. I mean, we're throwing, 1/32 ounce or 1/16 ounce jigs and having it go down to the fish. And it's not exactly easy, especially if there's any wind. And
right?
I was super impressed. So it was a really fun day, but it just showed me like, this notion of, okay, there's this generational shift of like the young guys, which there absolutely is. We're watching them, right? They're unbelievable
Yep,
forward facing.
yep.
But it kind of I was impressed with his age, and I wasn't being biased, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying I was expecting it to be tougher than it was, and he
my
figured it out.
partner and I kind of chatted about it too on the way home, and that put the boat in 40 foot of water and just running looking for a floater somewhere. I have zero interest in that. That
Uh-huh.
is not fishing to me. It's not exciting. Okay,
Yep.
you know, but the way that that team did it is him and his dad down there with the stumps. I get that. I mean, that's a presentation that fish on a stump is not going to see every day,
Yeah.
and I could do that. So we chit chatted about it. I tell you this that one of our pros, Rylan,
Yeah.
that kid is amazing with it. I
I,
mean,
I,
amazing.
I
Rylan
texted
Hamlin.
you. Yeah. When the, Bassmaster Open was going on, Rayburn, and I love how Bassmaster covers that final day in the Opens live, you
Mhm.
know? And so I saw the RecLending logo, the Farm Bureau logo, and I thought, oh boy, this must be the guy. I remember an interview maybe last year, maybe it was even 2 years ago. You had mentioned about, hey, there's this kid up here that is really good that we're taking a chance on. He's going to fish the Opens, and man, he was killing
That
it.
kid showed up at two of my hometown lakes. That the ones that we call them 80 percenters.
Yep.
80% of the time, I'm going to win it. If not, I'll be in second or third place or whatever.
Hmm.
And absolutely embarrassed us. Embarrassed us. And we were back to back weekends. And I gave him a card. I said, "You got to call me on Monday. We're going to talk about this." He's not. He doesn't have much. He's not very outgoing. Okay,
Yep.
but he's young. I mean, I think he's 19 now, and it's a completely different. He's in a different world now than I think he's ever known. But I think last year he learned how to practice,
Mm, hmm.
and he'd send me pictures of big fish, 9 pounder for ways at Rayburn or whatever. He'd send me all these ways practicing. I'm telling him, leave those alone. If you know they're there, don't catch them. Just leave
Yeah.
them alone. I think this time, I think he got patient and said, "I'm going to save this stuff," and he did, and did well. It was really cool. It was fun to watch.
Oh man, I
I
can.
don't think I've ever seen him excited.
Yeah, I
No,
love it. Well,
very
I
nice young man. I almost fired him.
what?
Actually, I did fire him.
Okay.
So every year we go over the promotional plan and the who's going to be sponsored, what it's going to be, all those things.
Yep.
And in my opinion, I didn't think I'd saw much at all from Rylan in terms of uh, social media presence, all the stuff that we asked our staff guys.
Yep.
And I literally called him and said, "Look, there's nothing we're going to be able to do this year. It didn't work out well last year, blah, 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 blah." And I just didn't see what I needed to be. And told him, "Thank you. And we'll look at it again someday if you want to." And then the next day, our social media girl came in and I going through the list and I said, "I've already told Rylan that we're not going to do anything with him." And she says, "Why?" I said, "Because I don't see a lot." She goes, "He's our number one poster, or he's our number one. We get more of him from him than almost all of them combined."
Wow.
I guess I'm not paying attention.
I was gonna say.
I had to call him Luke Crow and just tell him I apologize. So I'm glad to have him back. Glad to have him back because he really will make a difference someday in this industry. Good kid, nice family,
That's awesome.
works his tail off. So
Heck yeah, man. Well, he's off to a great start. I mean, if he obviously first derby of the year, but I mean, he's sitting with a seventh place finish. Like that's a good start for the potential to make the Elite Series, which is really cool.
he, well, imagine that being 19 years old and be on the cusp of winning a major. Look, it's Rayburn. I mean, who wouldn't want to win Rayburn? But so I think he handled himself well. He did well. I think everything that I saw of him, proud of him. Did a nice job.
Yeah. Man, I think he or that I think it was Andrew Binky or Banky, something like that, another northern guy, um, out of Wisconsin, I believe, but they were sharing the same water. If either one of them didn't have to share that water, I think they would
Like,
have hauled it out.
yep, yep.
It's just how
I
the
can't
creek
imagine.
falls. They both found it.
Have you ever been to Rayburn?
Yeah, I fished there a lot in college. We had
That's
a lot of college
that's
tournaments there.
that's just the deal, in my opinion. I mean, that's the land of giants.
Especially that this time of year, right? I mean this is like I was having this conversation the other day because we see it on the western lakes as well, but that February timeframe, that pre-spawn, early pre-spawn to pre-spawn on bodies of water where there are true giant females, like a lot of those 7 to 15 pound fish,
Yep.
they group up bigger in that time frame than any other time of the year, in my opinion. And it's why you see the biggest bags. It's never like there's the biggest gap. I think about this on Clear Lake, just, there was a 45-pound bag weight or something. And
Yep.
then you look at it on Rayburn and there's, a high 30s or whatever it may be. And then the next bags down are maybe the high 20s. But someone just lands on that big group of pre-spawn females and they are I mean, just it's like it's not even real what happens.
What really got me down at Pickwick is they were there. That's what they were doing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But they were in 4 and 5 foot of water. In my world, I'm looking for smallies in 40 foot now this time of the year, and I'm looking for just the group of them. And
Yeah.
that was not the case with these large ones. They were on the bank. Yeah, made it fun, but I didn't catch any good ones.
Dang it.
So
That's
what's up for you this year? What I mean, in terms of the business side of the fishing, how's it going for you?
Yeah, man, things are really good. The podcast is strong as it's ever been. We've got our Serious Angler show. We do our Serious Western as a part of that show. We've got the Lure Lab and then the Kayak Fishing Weekly. So we are cranking. It's just humbled with our growth overall, which has been a bunch of fun. Unfortunately, I will not be at the Classic. The rest of the guys will be at the Classic. So pumped for that. And I'm headed down to Arizona as far as that stuff goes. But overall, man, really can't complain. What I've seen in the industry is like overall strength. I think on the tackle side of things, tungsten sourcing has gotten a little shaky and expensive. So and that's primarily because of this AI boom and everything related to that. The from what I understand, right, like a lot of this technology also uses tungsten, and those guys, generally speaking, pay a lot more than us trying to make jig heads with them. So,
Same with silver and gold. I
right,
mean,
all
they've gone
minerals.
crazy.
It's crazy, man. Here in Idaho, you're seeing some of the mines reopen that haven't been open for 30 years, but because of where pricing is now, it makes sense to get back.
Yeah, when silver's $17 an ounce, it doesn't make sense to have 100 guys in the ground digging it. But when it's $100 an ounce, now it's all of a sudden viable. So
Mhm. It's crazy, man. Just overall, the world right now with everything. But the brands that we've are partnered with or have talked to throughout the industry have been in a good position overall. I think what I've heard on the boat side of things is, I mean, it feels like kind of the same story that's been happening for quite some time, and I'd be curious your take. Like the overall boat market it's still very hard to sell a used boat. Probably seasonally that's changing now that we're getting into the spring, but it's still hard. Guys that are stuck on selling a boat, or maybe they sold a used boat at a lesser price than they wanted to. Um, One thing that always bothers me a little bit about tournaments giving out boats when it's a kit boat, like an 18-foot boat with a 150 on it or whatever, those boats seem like they take forever to sell. Like, holy cow, it just seems like there's not even a market for them
entry
now.
level boat guy out there anymore. You're right.
No. Yeah, I don't know if you agree with that, but
Yeah. So we belong to the National Marine Lenders Association. So they do all these quarterly and annual and biannual reports on the different segments within the markets and how it's divided up. And used boats flipped in the past couple of years. Used to be that a dealer's penetration in terms of new and used was about 60% on the used side and 40% on the new side.
Okay.
And it's still absolutely the opposite now. And used is coming back because late last year it just almost not existed. But I think that's a hangover from COVID.
Okay.
I think that those boats were so priced that it just made it more difficult to get rid of. But I really think we're getting close to turning that around. Or getting them out of the market anyway, or getting
Okay.
them turned over. Yep.
So when you say COVID hangover, you're meaning those are people that bought new boats during COVID and then are flooded the market with used boats because they're not staying with fishing,
Well,
or what do you mean?
well, during COVID, people shut plants down. People didn't show up for work. They didn't do all these things, which made inventory stressed. So, but even though the inventory was stressed, the buyer wasn't, and everybody wanted them. So, I mean, everything was sold off to everybody's floor all over the country, and that's a chance for a dealer to make some money or to be a little greedy on that side. And I don't mean anything for the dealers. It doesn't happen to them very often.
Right.
But the valuing NADA, Blue Book, all those other things, they didn't keep up.
Mm.
So what I mean by a hangover is now all of a sudden this kid paid $80,000 for a boat that's got a value the next year of 45,000 because he paid retail for it. Truth is, it probably should be marked somewhere in that $60,000 or $65,000 range, but the valuation companies hadn't got there, and I think we're almost through that. I mean, right now, yeah, I think we're almost through it.
Interesting. So that's where the issues probably happened. And I'm curious, I'm sure it happened on the credit side too of a guy who's got to sell, so say, like you said, it's now worth 45 and he paid 80 for it. And maybe he gets a little more than 45 for it, but he owes still 60,000 bucks on the boat or something. He's writing a check to
Yep,
sell it.
yep, yep, and it just suppresses the market. So then the guy can't sell his boat individually, so he can't put it on marketplace. He can put it where he wants to, then sell it. So now he ends up trading it in, and instead of writing a check for the difference, they roll the money over, and it just delays the next one he'll get. I think we're getting through it.
Okay.
The dealer sits on it for a lot longer too. So
Interesting. Interesting. Wow. What's your take on brands right now as far as strength? There's always rumors of mergers and otherwise, but do you feel like the bass boat industry's at a good number of brands as far as overall?
I think we're starting to get there.
Okay.
I think what's that one you almost did?
What boat company was I looking at?
Yeah, what
Falcon.
was it?
Falcon.
Falcon. I've seen a lot more Falcons than I ever have.
Cool.
And to be honest with you, it's a good looking boat. I mean, and that guy that normally wouldn't even consider it, it's they've still got it relatively affordable. It's not shockingly expensive,
Right.
but I've seen a whole lot less Rangers,
I agree.
a whole lot less Nitros.
Hmm.
I mean, there was probably 70% of the field at Pickwick that were Phoenixes.
I was gonna say you're in heavy Phoenix country.
Oh
Um,
man,
yeah, I agree. I think some of these smaller brands, it's neat to see them pop in. I would say on the West Coast, there's still, I mean, just a presence of Ranger dealers, and I'm talking specifically California. There were some really strong Ranger dealers out there that have stayed. I would say Bass Cat, man. I see a good amount of Bass Cats.
you're right. I do too. I do too.
You
I
know,
think they've changed a lot of things since it got bought
Mm.
in terms of how they market it and that kind of if you're not in our family, you're not in our family mindset.
Yeah.
It's not at the company now. It's still in the buyers, it's still in the boaters, but they want to make people part of the company now. And yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few of them.
Yeah. Skeeter.
Um,
Skeeter seems to be kind of just always around, like a good amount, always around, but um, maybe not the, at least certainly out here, not the number one by any means as far as boats go.
I'll tell you another thing. I bet I saw 10, 10 or 12 completely refurbished champions.
We see a lot of those out here too. That's really cool. We see those I see those when I'm headed down to Havasu here in a couple of weeks. I see so many down in the desert. It's crazy.
They're almost as cultish as the Basket guys, and I mean that nice, okay? But I mean, they're almost as cultish. And we got one of our dealers specializes in refurbish them.
No way.
They do all new wiring, do all new carpet, change the motor, update all the electronics, do everything, and just leave the hull and the cap alone. And I he's so busy he can't stand it. So
Wow.
I
What a cool
should have
specialty.
kept my champs.
Yeah. What was the last year they stopped making champions?
Uh,
Like
I think it
2008?
was I think it was '07 or '08
Okay.
that they were acquired by Stratus. They moved them into the Stratus line. So I think it's either '08 or '09. They called it the Stratus 210 or whatever it was. But now those are all gone.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I was talking to Gary about it because Gary used to be the president of Phoenix. Gary used to be the president of Stratus, and Stratus and Champion were built in the same building.
Mhm.
So I'd known him for a long time, and we just chit chatted. But when Johnny Morris or Bass Pro bought White River, bought all the Stratus stuff and all the Champion stuff, they
I didn't know they
crushed
bought
everything.
Champion stuff as well. I knew they bought Stratus, but they bought Champion too.
Yep, it's all part of Genmar's stock. So they're all under the same
Umbrella.
umbrella, but
Yep.
they crushed every hull. They're gone, gone.
And it was
So
just
now,
elite competition, the same way they bought Legend, Trident, all these
yep,
other brands. Wow.
yep.
And
So
Ranger.
now, if you want a champion hull, you either got to refurbish one, or there are a couple of boat companies out there that have literally bought a champion hull or bought a boat in the free market and they call it plug. They made a copy of it to make a plug and are using that in the hull design of the other one. They can't tell anybody, they can't say anything, they can't advertise it that way, but it's unmistakably a champion hull.
Well, I mean the Basscat 203 hybrid or whatever, right? I mean, it's literally off of a Champion 20-foot Champion.
That was kind of what I was referring to.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Say it how it is, Todd. But so
One
that's
of my dealers, one of my dealers called me, had a used one, had a
okay.
used either 200 or 210, and he
Yep.
says, "Hey, I got a boat company calling me or a manufacturer calling me wanting to buy this boat." I said, "Yeah." He said, "They trying to get a deal on it?" He said, "No, they're going to pay me full price." I said, "Your question is?" He goes, "Well, is it right to have them copy this boat?" And I said, "It's a great boat, sure. It's a great boat. We need more of them." So there's a couple of them out there.
Well, I mean, we've seen this before, right? I mean, I've been told, and I look at them all the time, and I'm like, that's the same dang hole. But my 721, right? I've got an old Phoenix or older Phoenix 721, and that boat is built off of the Stratus 201 or whatever, whichever Stratus it is. That's a 21-foot narrow hull, like awesome riding boat, fast. Um,
Yep.
so it's they find something that works, and you may as well keep running it,
Right. That's
update
right.
it. Yeah.
But there's just so many attributes, and I'm not trying to, I don't know Phoenix anything. There are so many attributes in that boat that I loved in Stratus and appreciated in Stratus. I mean, I guess they call mine a 21XE now.
Hmm.
And There's 250 boats, and that's melee on a river system. I
Yes.
mean, it's a melee, and I get my boat's fast. It's probably upper 70s, low 80s, but I could put that boat at 72 mile an hour and drive through anything. I just got to go, so I don't have to come off it because they're getting square or they're getting flaky here. Or there's 5 boats up there. We pissed. I think it was 22 boats the first day before we got before we emptied the river out. So now it's just us. It
That's
was so much fun.
and you're running a
Locomotive.
300R on the back? Is
I
that right?
am.
Yeah,
I
that's
am. But to be honest, I don't know why people don't buy more of the R series. Yes, I know it's more expensive, but that motor is literally built by a person. It's individually done. It doesn't go down the assembly line. That guy puts every piece on. If it doesn't fit his specification, he throws it away and gets another one, or puts it back in the bin and gets another. And that has been so good. I did have a problem down there. I'm not convinced it was the motor problem. I probably was a gas problem more than anything, but I lost an injector. But ran out loud, even down an injector, it still ran 66, 68 mile an hour.
wow. And you get the ability, right, if you buy an R motor to call like a different tech
Yep.
team.
Mercury Racing will take your call immediately.
Wow.
And that's what I did. I mean, so I had to down a cylinder. So I called him and I said, am I going to hurt anything? And he said, no, it's not going to bother nothing. You're not going to be as fast. You'll be down about 10%. And I was. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Isn't that half of the fun of this business, though? Honestly, you can say that you love the competition and you love the fishing and you love the camaraderie, but that boat is the icing on the cake.
Dude,
That race
oh,
down the lake or down the river or whatever, that is the icing on the cake. And you'd be lying if you tell me different. I mean, don't you think?
yeah, man. So I was told this by a guy who's one of my really good friends, and he's absolutely has missed making the elites the last couple of years, pretty close. And he said this to me when I was young. I remember him saying, half of the fun, in his opinion, and I kind of with him, half of the fun in tournament fishing is that blast off and running down the lake. I mean, it's as
It's a
cool as it
race,
gets. It makes you feel like you're in a freaking fighter pilot, dude. You know?
right? It's a race, and it's exhilarating, and you got to pay attention, and you can't let your head get out of it. And I mean, it's all those things. And well, how would our industry be if they forced us to fish out of pontoons?
Oh man, yeah. And
First off,
I'll be
there's
the
no
first to say
first off, there's no sparkle, so
so yeah, our sparkle rockets wouldn't be a thing.
yep,
And I'll be the first to say we have had some bad boat crashes the last couple of years. So like there's absolutely you need to be safe and to be
yep.
careful out there. But I agree. There's a right way of doing things with that stuff, and there is there's something fun about flying down the lake.
Oh
Just
man,
got to do it
I
safe.
think the dealers have to take a little bit of responsibility for that. I really do.
Okay, because of graphs
They're
being too
young,
big.
they're much younger buying these boats than they ever have been.
Oh,
College kids. I mean, look at Ryland. He's 19. He's not seen every situation you can see driving a boat. And when you're in the hunt or when you're caught up in it, it's hard to stay focused on driving. I'm getting to the next spot. And I think we need to do a better job of just telling us, relax, drive the boat. You're driving a 4,000 pound rocket ship that will kill somebody when it hits them. So just be cognizant of that.
yeah, man. I think that's really strong advice because yeah, that's the absolute truth. You are driving a big thing that is I mean, it's a performance boat that we can fish off of. That's what
Yep.
they are.
So do you fish uh, uh, partner tournaments ever?
Yeah, man. What's really neat, my favorite tournaments to fish are team tournaments. And this year I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do. There's a couple opens that I'll fish here, as far as in Idaho, that are team events. But there's a ABA, the Western ABA, put on a elite team series this year where it's basically I want to say a 90% payback, and then a championship, and it's 25 grand for first place. And it's kind of a higher entry fee team series. And my
Sure.
buddy and I are fishing it this year. So we fish Shasta and then we'll head to Clear Lake. And so, but yeah, I'm fishing. I love that stuff. Team tournaments, nothing like
Does
getting excited with your buddy.
When we take off, my partner is my spotter.
Hmm.
He's pointing boat there. Watch this guy, he's coming over. All of
Log.
those things, and
Yeah.
I think that's super important, especially in these team events. I mean, that guy's got to keep his head up. And he said, "I'm not good." Well, he's probably trying to be self-protective.
Yeah. He's like, don't kill me, please, Todd. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I just wonder if everybody did that.
Yeah. I actually, in college, right? I think it was really important for me to learn. And I think this is the good news is it's all an experience thing. And so you need to just put yourself into those situations more. But where I learned that was I had a friend, I was from Colorado originally and had never fished these big bodies of water with in the springtime where you have timber floating down, these channels and et cetera after a big rain in the spring. And so that's where my partner would be pointing out logs more than anything, right? Like, okay, there's one coming up here, like, hitting me in the shoulder right there, this, and just the entire
Exactly.
time, because they've got a
Yep,
way better
exactly.
view, especially in a single console boat, um, just to see everything and to pay attention while you're watching the wake in front of you, the boat in front of you. Otherwise, they can really see stuff a little further out. So I think you're dead on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to teach more of that too.
Yeah, I've been noticing some states have been um, mandatory boaters card license stuff,
Mhm.
which wasn't a thing in every state. And so I've been seeing more of that, which I think is important. Um, because yeah, man, at the end of the day,
Alabama
none of this.
Alabama does, and so does Michigan. You've got to have a boater safety course you take online, but it's all basic stuff. It's about buoys and anchorage and all those kind of things. And if somebody ever gets a wild hair and decides to teach folks how to drive a bass boat, I think they'd make a ton of money. I mean,
Man, that's a really good point. I've seen videos, which I think are really cool. Be a good way to create some content. So anyone out there, free tip here, go get out on some rough water and do this. But I saw Josh Bertrand do that in a
really,
video a while back. Yeah, I think he kind of had this bass fishing education thing or something, but he got out on a windy day in the desert in Arizona on a big lake and just walked through. Okay, here's how you run and chop. Here's
how you address the big water.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Because I
I
agree.
used to take guys when I was selling Stratus. At that time, Stratus had a really fast haul,
Uh-huh.
and it tended to chime. Okay,
Yep.
and most guys looked at the chime as though it was a flaw. It's not. It's the boat truly performing. But if you balance that boat right, now you feel now you get to see what your boat will do, and it's not dangerous. I mean, it's you just got to learn how to do it. But I'd sit them in the passenger seat or on the console beside me and let them feel how you gently move the boat side to side, how you try to counterbalance it, and all of a sudden the light comes on and they get it. I think we need to do more of that. All these boats are running 70 plus now, aren't they?
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, if you're at least in the high 60s for sure with a
Yeah.
250 on a 20 or 21-foot boat. Yeah.
Hmm.
Man,
Well, maybe that gives somebody an idea.
there you go. I like it. Well,
Yep.
man, we'll kind of get things wrapped up here, but overall, good to talk to you as always. And sounds like things are cranking away. Boat market's strong. Good opportunity for guys to refinance. I mean, rates are as low as they've been, right, in the last
Yep.
year.
Yep. I think there's more to come.
Okay.
Um, and so over the past week, we've had some accidents, not with boats, but with towing. So a
Okay.
couple of boats got ruined, a couple of trucks got ruined, a bunch of people got hurt. But
Yeah.
I think over the next month or so, we're going to do some videos on. So each one of those boats that got wrecked, and I don't mean to sideline us, but
No, no.
each one of them rolled, and all the equipment's gone. It's out of your boat. It's flung for 100 feet. You're never going to replace it. And I started thinking on the way home, is how are you going to explain to a, a claims adjuster how you lost 67 rattle traps? You know?
Yeah.
Um, So I think I'm going to have the insurance folks work on kind of putting together a checklist. You know, you don't have to list all your equipment, just take pictures of it.
Hmm.
You honestly don't realize how much money you've got wrapped up in that stuff. And you can say, I'll put 10 grand on it, I'll put $20,000 worth of equipment. But if you put 20,000 attached in gear, that doesn't come close to electronics and the rods and reels now. It really doesn't.
No.
So we're going to try and at least do a consumer awareness video. So yeah, I want business, but I want guys to not call me crying because they lost all their stuff too, and they can't replace anything. So
I think that's super wise. Yeah. I've always heard you want to take photos of as much stuff as you can and let us know when that goes out. We'd love to share it. And otherwise, I think that's important for guys because you're right. The longer you're in this game, you don't realize how much you have. And then you start going through it and you're like, oh, each one of these, Megabass Vision 110s are $25 or more now. And I've got 30 of them, like, and then you start talking rods and reels and
oh
heck,
yeah,
line. And you're like, you're right. If something happens or, stuff gets
I
stolen
would
out of your boat.
shock you. I would shock you at my swim bait box. They're beautiful, little piece of art. Most of them I'll never throw, but they're beautiful. I
Yeah.
think though, what I'm trying to get across to folks is you're in this bond, you're excited about buying the boat, you're excited about picking up your boat, you're excited about doing all this stuff, but you can't, you still have to attend to business and don't just look for the cheapest one out there. And I'm not selling insurance to most of these guys anyway. Don't look for the cheapest one. Look for the one that covers you the best and make sure it's does the derby stuff. Make sure it you do your equipment inside the boat right. But we're gonna do that. They'll start working on that sometime next week and get it out whenever they can get it out. So
I think it's wise, man. Awesome. Well, Todd, as always,
I really love our talks, Adam. I
me
think we could
too.
do it for like 3 hours if we wanted
I think
to.
we could. And I think my favorite part about it is hearing with like your 40 years of experience talking about these different boat brands or stories about things or how it all has come about because I think a lot of our generation, quite frankly, and just the younger stuff, it's like you're kind of focused on stuff to somewhat in your age group or what's happening now. And I just appreciate hearing the history about it all. And I think people do as well. It's
No,
it's fun to go
ever
back.
since I got out of the Marine Corps, our motto has always been, not mine and my friends, it's all about the story. So it doesn't matter how it goes, doesn't matter whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter whether it was a great experience or not. If you got a good story to tell, that's all it's about. And there's a lot of those, man. Got a lot of those.
Stacking stories. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. It's the
We're getting
absolute
old.
truth. Well, Todd,
Well,
as always, go ahead.
I thank you. I thank you. Good talking to you, and let's not be strangers.
No doubt. All right, guys. So that wraps things up with Todd at RecLending. Man, super great guys. Give them a call if you are in the market on the financing side or between boats or otherwise trying to figure stuff out. Also, dealers out there. He does floor financing as far as on the dealer side. Just a wealth of knowledge. Super helpful guy and their entire crew over there at RecLending. Can't thank them enough. Man, it is March. So you better be out there chasing pre-spawn bigs if you're in kind of the mid part of the country at this point. If you are in the south, you're probably already maybe starting to see some beds. If you're in the north, you're still maybe under ice. Hopefully not. But anyways, hoping everybody is off to a good start to spring. Days are getting longer. It's only uphill from here. And as always, please give us a rating or review on whatever you are listening or watching platform wise on. And we will see you guys on the next one.